I get enjoyment out of simple things, like possibly the saddest moment in my life is I was once a subscriber to Concrete Quarterly, which feels like it should be on Have I Got News For You? Welcome to Electrical Engineering here at the University of Cambridge. I'm Peter Christopher. I'm a postdoctoral research fellow here. This is part of the Cambridge University's grand plan to move all of the engineering provision out of the centre. We might as well take the lift up, I guess, save carrying it upstairs. This is the device that made our research group famous, and also it's one of Cambridge University's largest spin-outs. But this is a holographic projector in here as opposed to a classic on-focus projector. So one of the features of a holographic projector is it's got infinite depth of focus.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I think we had a great trip in your lab, and that was exciting.
It's always nice to show people around.
So today we will be talking about two things. Moon exploration and holograms.
Yes.
Just to mention one thing, that the two things don't come together, because you might be aware of that conspiracy that the moon is a hologram.
It isn't.
It isn't.
I wear two hats. I work at University of Cambridge, which is the holograms bit, and I'm also chief scientist for a company called Exobotics that does satellites and moon exploration.
Okay, so moon exploration started with the Russians, who managed to land the first probe on the moon. That was in 1959, I think, and then that was when there was a space war. Then Kennedy gave a famous speech. He said, "We do things because they are complicated," but it was also doing things because of the space race. And so they eventually managed to send a probe on the moon in 1969, I believe. And the program lasted for like 3 years, I think. So at the beginning of the 70s, they stopped sending people on the moon.
Yeah, so I think 69 was when they landed Neil Armstrong.
Yeah. Do you think it's real?
Yes.
Yeah, me too, yeah. Okay. What do you think there are all these conspiracies around?
Well, as someone trying to do what they did without computers or calculators, really, 50 years ago, and I'm trying to do it on significantly better kit, and I realise how hard it is. I can understand why people think it's made up.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I think it feels unrealistic. I don't know. I'm not an expert on conspiracy theories, but I think that people like to have an understanding of things that are beyond their ken.
So now there are there are programs going on. The Chinese managed to send a probe to the dark side of the moon for the first time in history with the Chang, what's the name of it? Chang 4. That was in early 2019. And now we're expecting the Artemis program, which probably is planning to send a human to the moon, right? It's a NASA program.
I'd have to check. Sorry, I'm not the space expert. I do the software and
But what do you think? What do you think is the reason now? What do you think we should go to the moon right now in 2022 or 2020?
Because we can. It's the obvious answer, but I think it's also a testing platform. So the difference about us going back this time is we're not going back because to prove the point, because we can do that. But in real terms, today's money, the NASA programs that sent Neil Armstrong to the moon cost $1 trillion or something.
$1 trillion?
I think if you scale for inflation, I'd have to check the exact numbers, but it's a lot. And that's obviously very expensive. And the big difference is that over the years, we've moved towards commercial space. It used to be satellites were just made by governments with government-level funding. And nowadays you can buy a satellite. It will be expensive. It will cost you millions, but it's not going to cost you billions unless you want something huge. But there's an entire ecosystem, commercial sector built around this. If you're a telecoms company, you can buy a telecom satellite. And the idea is that could we go to the moon for that? Now, the difficulty is there's not necessarily as obvious commercial advantages of the moon. Telecoms is an important reason why you'd want to be in orbit around the Earth. And I think, if I'm honest, there's an element of exploration. There's an element of people doing it because they can, like the Elon Musks of this world. And then there's an element of people applying for the very high risk, high reward of, could we ever mine asteroids? So there are things you can do on the moon that you can't do on Earth. Like, there's manufacturing techniques. It's non-tectonic.
And so, what's this rover like? Can you describe it? Like, how heavy is it? I understood it's like
show a picture
the
of it on the
size.
website if you want.
Okay.
So this is a platform. So this has cameras and the things we'd need to drive around. And if you go on to the next slide, you'll see that the legs fold out like this. So this is a CAD model, obviously. That's not the real thing. And the idea is that it comes with about half a U of payload space. So we refer to CubeSats as 10 by 10 by 10 centimetre cubes. So that's a 2U version. And of that, 1/4, so half a U, so 5 centimetres tall by 10 by 10, is up for the customer.